right, so section 6.3, solving multi-step equation, multi-step inequalities. So when we start this, we're going to take what we learned in 6.1 and 6.2, and we are going to add what we know about multi-step equations and combine them together. So just a reminder, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your inequality. If you multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, so first problem, 3x minus 7 is less than 8. So we're going to solve these like we do a two-step equation. So what would I do first? Add 7. So 3x is less than 15. Then I would divide by 3, and I get x is less than 5. And I believe you guys have a graph under that. So I would graph x is less than 5. Open or close circle? Open circle. I'm going left. Okay. So if we look at the next one, 2x minus 5 less than or equal to 23. So I would start by adding 5. So 2x is less than or equal to 28. Then I divide by 2. So x is less than or equal to 14. And then I would graph that. And this time I would have a closed circle. And I'm going left. Okay, so the next one, what would I start out by doing? Subtract 5. So negative 6y is less than or equal to negative 21. And then I would do what?
Divide by 6.
Divide by negative 6. So I have to remember to do what? Flip my sign. And negative 21 divided by negative 6. Positive 3.5. So then I'm going to graph that. So greater than or equal to positive 3.5, which would be like right here. And I'm going to arrow to the right. Okay. All right, the next problem looks a little different. What do I have to do with that negative 1/4? Distribute it. Okay, and I realize that I'm multiplying right now by a negative, but in order to flip the sign, it would have to be multiplying like across the inequality sign. So this time it's just distributing, so that doesn't count because I'm not doing anything like crossing over to the other side. So negative 1/4 x, and then that would be plus 3 is greater than negative 2. So my next step would be minus 3. So negative 1/4 x is greater than negative 5. And then how would I get rid of that negative 1/4? Well, multiply both sides by negative 4. So now I'm going to have to flip my sign. So x is less than 20. So open circle at 20, arrow going to the left. Okay, I want you guys to try the next one. Okay, so if I distribute this, I get negative 0.6 times x, and then I get positive what? 3 is less than or equal to 15. Subtract 3, so negative 0.6x is less than or equal to 12. And then I'm dividing by negative 0.6. So x, I have to flip my sign, is greater than or equal to
Negative 20.
negative 20. And then I graph it. So close circle at negative 20, arrow is going to the right. Okay, so the next one starts out a little different because we have variables on both sides. So we've already done this with an equal sign, but we've never done it with an inequality. So the same rules are going to apply though. So what I would do first is I would get my x's together. So I choose to move my smallest x, which would be the 2x. You don't have to do it that way. There's 4 ways you could start this problem. So my way isn't necessarily the only way to do it. So I would have 4x minus 7 is greater than 17. And then I need to move the 7 over. So add 7. So 4x is greater than 24. Divide by 4. X is greater than 6. And then I graph it. Okay, so, all right. If an inequality is equivalent to an inequality that is true, so for example, like if you don't have any more variables left, and let's say this is your answer, that's true, correct? Negative 3 is less than 0. So if it is true, then the solution of the inequality is all real numbers. So if you end up knocking out your variable and you're left with only numbers and it happens to be true what the inequality says, then your answer is all real numbers. We did the same thing with multi-step equations. If you have an inequality, so if your variable's gone and you have an inequality that is not true, like this, 4 is not less than negative 1, then the answer is no solution. Okay, so we're going to have answers like that as well as numbers. So starting off, for example, what would I do first in this problem? Distribute. So 14x plus 5 is less than 14x minus 21. And then I choose to combine my variables first. So I'm going to just subtract 14x. So I'm going to be left, that knocks out, and I'm going to be left with 5 is less than negative 21. So is 5 less than negative 21? So this answer is no solution. Okay, so on the next one, first step again is to distribute. So 12x minus 1 is greater than 12x minus 6. And then if you subtract your 12x, you're going to end up zeroing them out. So you're going to get negative 1 is greater than negative 6. And is that true? Yes, so this one is all real numbers. Okay, I want you guys to do the next one and we'll do the last one together. Okay, so after you distribute, you end up getting 5M plus 25 is less than 5M plus 17. So your 5M's are gonna zero out, and you're gonna get 25 is less than 17, which is not true. So this one is no solution. Okay, so let's look at the last one. A gas station charges $10 less per gallon of gasoline if a customer also gets a car wash. What are the possible amounts in gallons of gasoline that you can buy if you also get a car wash and can spend at the most $20? So if I'm saying you're spending at the most $20, does that include you could spend 20? Okay. So that means we're going to have an or equal to sign because I can spend 20, just not over. So in order to figure out the cost of, so a car wash is $8, right? And if you buy a car wash, it says you get $10, 10 cents less per gallon. So 8 plus, and then we're going to have to take 10 cents off of 209 times my gallon of gas. And this has to be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to 20. Less than or equal to 20. Okay, so how much would the gallon of gas actually be? $1.99. So 8 plus $1.99 G for gallons is less than or equal to 20. And then what do I do next? Subtract 8. So $1.99 per gallon equals less than or equal to $12.
Wait, what? Oh, never mind.
So then I need to divide by $1.99. So G would be less than or equal to what'd you get?
6.03.
6.03. So you can buy no more than 6.03 gallons, which is not a lot. That's probably like a quarter of a tank in my vehicle. In a car, that'd be like a third of a tank, probably, about, which is not a lot. So probably not worth getting a car wash unless you just really need a car wash, right? I think of this type of thing a lot at Hy-Vee. So if anybody shops at Hy-Vee or their parents shop at Hy-Vee, sometimes things at Hy-Vee you almost pay more for or pay full price, but if they have like their fuel saver discount on it. So for example, so if we're at Hy-Vee and something like a bottle of Tide, right, like Tide laundry detergent is, I don't know, $19.99 for like one of the giant jugs of Tide with like the little push button thing. So if that is $19.99, but let's say they have it on fuel saver discount for like 25 cents off a gallon, okay? If I get that, I get 25 cents off of a gallon either at Hy-Vee or Casey's, and I can get up to 20 gallons of that. Like the gas pump rolls to 20 gallons and then stops. You can't get any more, like through the fuel saver thing. So if I look at it that way, I'm saving 25 cents times 20. So how much money am I actually gonna take off of this Tide?
$5.
$5. So I realize I'm not gonna take off $5 at the cash register, but I'm gonna end up technically spending $14.99 for this giant jug of Tide laundry detergent because I'm gonna save the $5 later when I go get gas. So sometimes I think of it that way and then I decide, okay, is $14.99 now, is that a good price? I know the $19.99 was full price, but now that I get $5 off my gas, I can look at it like it's $19 or $14.99. So that's something that, and I know Gerbs does the same kind of thing. A lot of grocery stores do that, but you have to think of it like that when you're shopping. So your assignment is that worksheet 6.3 that, what numbers are you doing? What's it marked?
6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 24.
6 through 24 even? Okay, so 6 through 24 even.
Alexis, they're all in a row again.